But yeah, Larry played lots of fast expansions. Very interesting, very exciting play styles. 1-0. Is he a fast expo player in this matchup? Not really, right?
He is a Ted Fiend player in this matchup most of the time. So at least when he was successful. Not this game here. He has various different styles. Everything except fast expo, I would say. He can play DK Ghouls. I think that's his least successful. Then he plays his 1-2-0 Fiends with a 4 Ghoul opener into a Fiend transition. He can also play regular Ted Fiends. It's very, very hard to read 1-0, I'd say, at the moment.
Lin also being not too easy to predict. Sometimes Farseer, sometimes a Blade Master. This time it is Farseer, Fast Tech. What looks likely to be Wyvern again.
Well, well, well. We'll see. I am not a fan of the Farseer at all. I think it's a losing strategy. I don't think it adds anything if you compare it with the Blade Master. But if there's a player that can prove me wrong in this regard, it shall be Lin. But yeah, Blade Master is usually the more successful strat, and I don't really understand at the moment what the Farseer offers that the Blade Master does not. But I'm also just a 1300 MMR player, so what do I know?
Yeah, it's interesting that in recent months, and I guess 1 or 2 years maybe, we saw both Blade Master and Farseer have their time in the sun with the Wyvern build. Wyvern then, after a little while, seemed to be dropping out of favor again, but they are back, Neo. I'm not super happy that they're seemingly the mainstay in the meta again, but hey, whatever it takes to win.
Can you imagine Happy in a Superman costume, dude? That'd be hilarious. Because you said super happy?
Yeah, super happy, Superman, super Clark Kent. I can see it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I think Wyvern are the best orc unit. I think orcs didn't play Wyvern because they don't like the playstyle, which is hilarious in competitive Warcraft. Should play the best. I think 1-0's strength with Fiends plays into Mass Air. So it's a bit trickier against 1-0 than a lot of other undeads. But yeah, Fiends are the way to victory. Wyvern.
I would still like to see, in this matchup only, Undead's possibly delaying tier 3. I feel like the Ghoul opening is good for creeping. But then what about on tier 2, you make double crypt, and you make a slaughterhouse, and you buy a wand of negation, and you just make Fiends for a little while. Delay tier 3. I feel like that's something that is a bit overlooked right now by Undeads. But 1-0's creeping here is looking pretty good, and the Farseer did not manage to stop level 3, so normally we call that not the greatest early game.
We had a lot of resources on Lin, buying a tally staff. Interesting. Shadowhunter, double beastery as expected. Wolves couldn't stop or delay the tech. And there's no expansion here on 1-2-0 either. So far, everything goes according to the norm. Tier 3 as well, Shadowhunter out. In the past series of 1-2-0 and Focus, it was a lot of decisions that were made at the beginning of tier 2. One player running into the Nova timing, the other player running into Hex timings. Gotta be a little more careful about that strong tier 2.
And I think the DK is feeling fairly strong as well with all those items he found. And importantly, the level 3 he received. Farseer, even killing an Acolyte here wouldn't be big because there is a backup. We got 6 or now 5. So still full mining.
Interesting play by 1-2-0. Moving the DK out of the base where he knew the Farseer would be to block the Shadowhunter when he was marching across the map. That must have been on purpose, man. He was just waiting for that hero to arrive. Got some good scouting out, didn't expose anything. It's kind of now forcing Lin into creeping. 4 level 3 Farseer and 1-2-0 himself. Lots of time to catch up.
And in time, scouting the creep, threatening a steal, and threatening the Shadowhunter.
Yeah, shocky coils. There's no heal wave, of course. Oh, skeleton block is a possibility with Unholy Aura. Wyvern is coming in, but no poison. Can you just gun him down? That's 2 coils. Or 1 hit and a coil. Oh, 2 hits and a coil. Hex a little bit too late, but distance created.
Lots of time with no creeping, and the DK keeps the opponent busy, and that's what the level 3 DK does for you. The replenishment is sweet, isn't it?
I thought the skeletons could cancel this. Would have been a swag move. I think from the first 6 minutes of the game, we can say that 1-0 is coming prepared.
Yeah. Looks to be in a really good shape here and a really good spot here so far. But the Wyvern are still kind of dangerous, especially against the ghouls. The targets, what are they going to be? Hex is ready. One ghoul already dead. Going for the bigger fish, though, trying to fry the Lich. But there's plenty of coils.
Speed scroll. Lots of items involved here. Shadowhunter unable to connect for a Hex. Now trying to get the guaranteed kill. Deny by 1-0. Razor sharp on map 1 already.
Fiend's on the way, and now a Wand of Negation purchased, and it's on the Lich. Yes, I've seen some Undeads lately also do this incorrectly. Have Wand on the DK, so you have 2 saving mechanisms on the hero Death Knight, which means when he gets hexed, there's no saving anymore. Looking for a different noun. I think I'm missing the noun there. Anyways, you have the wands on the Lich, so he can dispel, and the DK can coil, so there's always some security.
Noun schmaun. We got a Ziggurat turned into a Spirit Tower. 10 seconds left for the Wyvern to harass. Hopefully Lin got the eyes on the Flyers here, as there is a little bit of a fight during the creep spot as well. I like that split he does here. It weakens the creep speed for sure, but it also puts emphasis on 1-0 on the main base. Causes a little distraction as well. That's neat.
A player's forces are under attack.
Pretty impressive 1-0 though as well. Having the towers in the right position, even had the statue back at home to help a little bit against the harass. Lin still gets 1 kill. This is still gonna cost some gold here, maybe up to 200 gold. Lin being annoying still, but Lin is still having to avoid all fights.
Right on. And I really worry about the heroes of Lin, man. There's 0 progress. Usually that's totally fine on like tier 1, but once the Wyvern are out, you really want to catch up in levels, and he's behind with both of them. At the moment though, 1-0. Oh, he wasn't mining for a bit because this one Acolyte was affected with poison. And there we go again. There's one just semi-covered spot, and Wyvern poison, very toxic.
In more ways than one. It's about a 400 gold harass so far. That's pretty neat. But you mentioned the creep speed earlier. Indeed, that is very slow here for the Orc. And he's going to be trying to creep up triple hero soon. TC. We've seen Lin in his prime in this matchup with like Wyvern against Undead, you know, so recent prime. Very often be able to pull off a pivot between Wyvern and Berserkers in 2 different directions, being very hard to deal with, being very hard to counter with Undead triple hero. I wonder if that's something he's thinking about. So far, we have no barracks being made, but if the game goes long enough, maybe he could still look for something like that.
TC could still be a mighty weapon against the Fiends with the Storm. Got the Ring of Protection that we both love on that TC, but he goes Shockwave.
What?
He goes Shockwave. Full Lamo mode, man. I say for weeks and weeks and weeks, Orcs have to trigger their dirty side, their Horde side, the Lamo side, and Lin appreciates the word of a prophet.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, against Fiends, it's ridiculous how much worse Shockwave is. But yeah, against Buildings, I guess it's good. And I guess here we go into the Acolytes. Shock, waiting for the chain. And that's some good damage.
There we go. Rinse and repeat. Economy damage pretty much throughout the entire game once the Wyvern appeared. Heroes could still do some damage to the Haunted. Again, gotta be careful about that Spirit Tower. In straight up fights, this army by Lin is pretty weak at the moment, but he shuts down that mining man. 1-0 came prepared, but how could you prepare for this?
And he lost nothing so far. If he passes the TP here, this will be a beautiful escape.
Oh!
Very close. Burning the heal potion, sticking around a little bit longer. Do the Wyvern all survive? Yes, they do.
God.
Wow. Sick harass, dude. That was crazy.
Oh my god, he also killed the Spirit Tower. So, floodgates for the Wyvern are open now for the entire rest of the game. If Lin continues to play this rhythm. 6 save on the Shadow Hunter as well. It's just a gorgeous Lin game, man. The only thing he cannot do is fight the army of 120.
But given enough time, maybe there will be a moment when he can. Banking up gold here still. Now spending it, going for the tiny, actually. Not waiting for too much longer. Good scout, though, by the Shade. Oh, the Shade could block it. Maybe. Does he get into position? Oh. Not quite. But he knows right away.
Yeah, he was right next to the lab as well. It's like, yeah, a little bit of distraction only. Young Fang with another gifted sub to Lin Guagua. Thank you for 1,103 subs. Once again, if you guys have a Prime sub lying around and you don't like ads, spend it on our channel. No ads for the rest of the Super League then. Good bang for your buck at the moment. Continues to creep now is Lin. Wants that level 2 heal wave. Wants the endurance aura for more movement speed and more base attacks. Going through with the Wyvern. Since the War Mill is up, I would love to see a defend upgrade. Just to make them a little more sturdy.
Plenty of Wyvern on the way. Lin is very close to 2 huge level ups on the Shadow, on the TC. Keeping 1 ring on the Shadow Hunter, by the way. Feeling that the TC isn't the only possible target to be threatened by the Undead Focus Fire. 1-0 here. Has to do big damage right now against this expansion to have a chance late game.
It's so few units for 1-0. Damage for Lin is high. Wyvern, speed scroll. Not too many webs, of course, but he can't break the Fiends just yet. Aiming for the Destroyer, full mana. Wyvern are suffering, but slowly but steady, the Fiends are disappearing. Reinforcements must be coming in as well. Endurance Aura unlocked. Shadow Hunter, silence. He has that ring, but he doesn't have a potion. Turns around, catches a coil, and is safe to the shop, though. And in the meantime, the rest of Lin's army is destroying anything that's on the ground.
Sick game by Lin, dude. Can anybody play it quite like that? I'm not so sure, man. Shadow comes back from the main with a mana potion, ready with the next heal. Silence, though. Shadow in trouble, and the speed scroll doesn't quite save him. The nuke takes him out of the game, and the chance for 1-2-0.
Oh, stop dodge by 1-2-0. Sick anticipation. Keeps the Lich alive. Now Farseer on the horizon. Dark Ranger on the other side. Things are getting wild here. Lich on the menu. Got that potion. Chain Lightning a little bit too late. Exposes the Farseer. 1-2-0 with the coil. Not enough. Ghoul chasing. He calculated this before. Lin has the money for a potion. Needs it. Gets it. Oh, man. What a sick engagement of the two. Dark Ranger is getting caught on the tail end of this fight. Falls as well. Even though Lich and DK were coming in. Lin holds the expo. Heroes are falling. Sick plays, big gains. But how is 1-0 trying to come back into this now?
By the way, this is, I'm pretty sure, the first time we ever cast a game where TC has Shockwave and Stomp build.
True. There's no endurance aura. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, you saw the opening there to get a big hero kill, but as you mentioned, with the Invo Potion, nicely preventing that was 1-0. Strong Farseer, man. Plus 23 damage with Kodo. Level 4. He seems to be the carry this game for Lin.
As you say, both heroes got a ring. Once again, Lin can't fight. 30 seconds still without the Shadow. 1-0 facing 2 bases. He mined 1,200 gold less due to that Wyvern harass in the mid game. It's absurd. It must be this one last fight before the Expo really kicks into hyperdrive.
The mana for Lin isn't that high. Needs a speed scroll, I think, as well to take a comfortable fight, but doesn't have one. Not quite enough gold there, despite the expansion running for a long time. Some peons were also taken out. TC might be going down here quickly. There's a heat wave for him, but maybe only one. Shockwave over Stomp is the priority here in this fight so far.
Gets the chain wave combo. Again, -1 Fiend. Soon, -1 Destroyer. New Destroyers are coming in. The Wyvern numbers are not that high just yet, but should be high enough with the combo of Wyvern and Ensnare. Couple of coils, couple of Novas, but in the great scheme of things, does that make the difference when there is 2 base Orc? 1-0 needs way more kills, but he can't get it. Beautiful Stomp into Hex, into Chain Lightning combo, and with that, DK goes down. No more movement speed, no more healing, no more destroyer, no more hope. Lin gets redemption versus the Undead after Labyrinth smacked him around. 1-0 isn't able to do that because Lin triggers his inner grubby and plays a little bit more eco-harass style, and it works so beautifully. Ain't too bad was the Farseer on map 1. King of segways, man. I had hated that hero with the passion against Undead, but Lin did show the way, even though I think he could have had the same result with the Blade Master eventually. Doesn't matter though. A win is a win, and a harass is a harass, and let's see how many kills Lin can get.
And the last hit is the last hit. That doesn't go to the Farseer so far. One ghoul. Oh! That's a W. Normally not supposed to happen. A little bit sloppy here by 1-0. You're not supposed to be losing ghouls right here. He's trying to be cool oftentimes with coiling at the very last millisecond. I don't know if you've seen this before. Drives me mad. And sometimes it costs him a ghoul.
Well, happens to the best, doesn't it? Lin again, 1,000 gold, rushing tier 2, another indicator for the very same Wyvern play. 1-0 should 100% anticipate this, seeing the Farseer. Might open up the tree line already for that Spirit Tower, which the Spirit Wolves try to prevent.
Really, really not supposed to lose the ghoul here in the main, and I guess this time he won't. Blight Regen kicking in nicely. The goal this time for the Farseer will be stop DK level 3 by the time the Shadow comes out. And chances for that aren't looking too bad, indeed.
Trying to get some last hits. Still Farseer down to 50%. Shop is up in a second, right alongside the tier 2 tech. Beastery right in 1-0's face, so we're not playing a guessing game of swords. We're playing a Wyvern game with a half attack advantage. But yeah, 1-0, you gotta get that air defenses up with towers ASAP.
A player's forces are under attack.
There's the tier 3. 1-0 perfectly has the scout on it. One ghoul in the main base, by the way. Almost was nibbled down by that wolf. And the DK just trying to pick up as many items and experience as he can. He's gonna get very close to that level 3 here in the end. Oh, with the wolf kill. Maybe. Couple seconds only on the Shadow.
Ooh, maybe a scary situation, especially with the DK not having a town portal. No insurance to get out of it. Lots of coils, of course. But yeah, here's the Hex. With the Blade Master, this would probably be sketchy. But opens up that surround. On map 1, 1-0 tried to pressure that Shadow Hunter. Now he's trying to pressure the Farseer into a surround. Doesn't work either.
Forces are under attack.
But it's all stalling for the tier 2.
Double Mantle is super sick, by the way. Really good in the early game already. Even better late game for the Lich. That is amazing. And the gloves also really good. And the ring, I guess, also not bad. DK, while he didn't get level 3, I guess that wasn't perfect, but the items are wonderful.
50% on that DK now. Is that the last Hex, or do we have one more? Oh, we have one more. Can he reach?
Scroll. Is it? I don't think it's enough, is it? One more Hex?
He's trying. Can he get up front for body block? Then it is.
Oh, that would be so sick.
Damn! The dribble by 1-0 though.
Not the highest damage here, of course. Blade Master here would have been a bit more punchy.
Right? I keep saying that, but they don't listen. I went as far as saying orcs who don't play Blade Master aren't real orcs. Oh my god. Is it? Is there?
Oh, he's trying to bait again with low HP. 1-0 likes to bait with low HP. Another Farseer.
Uh-oh! B2W rip, everybody. Happens to the orcs as well. I think this was somewhat on purpose, though. Altar is free. Doesn't cost that much. You want to level the Shadow Hunter anyway. And keep the town portal for later, eventually. But we have an interesting development here in the production line of 1-0. Because this game, it's not Fiends, it's Gargs.
Indeed it is. That's Flying Vision also above the trees. That makes dealing with the Wyvern Goldmine Harass way easier. DK with a coil ready.
Oh, that Fiend, that Wyvern escape on 5.
Yeah.
A player's forces
And snare on the Garg. Oh! Where did he land? What is
What?
this?
What? Save Orcas.
Oh.
What the hell,
listen.
man? Fix the tree line.
Okay, one Wyvern still went down. Painful loss. The other one at least was saved. But yeah, that's a Farseer and a Wyvern going down early. That's not amazing.
Bro, isn't it cool how Warcraft 3 can still surprise you after 22 years? With moves like this. The greatest game of them all. We need statues in here very quickly. We need levels on the orc side also very quickly. This time later, Warmill, TC in production, probably... I don't know actually. Stomp? Shockwave? We'll see about that. Lin very willing to brawl though, and if you look at these HP bars, very reasonable decision.
Oh, here's the Hex. The Lich in trouble. The Lich is dead. 1-0 reacts too slow. Not saving his hero. The Lich is gone, but the Wyvern are still in trouble. These Gargs are working out really well, and there's no bats so far to counter him.
Exactly. Usually it was 4 Wyvern into 2 bats. He never really got the 4 Wyvern up. We got another engagement, but the Shadow Hunter seems to be safe. What about the Wyvern, man? Very, very different game with all this air presence of 1-0. TC can't really help against the Gargs, and I'm really curious if, with this being a Garg play, if TC is still the right choice.
Aura first to save the Wyvern. Oh! Saved it on 3 hit points.
Oh.
Yo, sick.
Dude, these guys are gamers, Remo. These are real freaking gamers.
Yeah, really cool series so far, man. Really narrow moves here.
And it's a big numbers game, right? When it's Wyvern versus Gargs, you need every single one of them on both sides.
Fools seeing the Orc creep. Is there no Gargs left? There's one now coming from the main base. DK not going for the kill, but rather for the steal. And he got the steal on the creep. TC, no ring of protection. That's a paper TC.
Ooh, dodges the coil with an invul though. Also, Lich was just arriving. We had a Nova ready, so perfect disengage by Lin. 1-0. Is there a bit of added stability now? There's still so many ghouls in. Destroyers always wrecking an Orc army in the late game. We have a Raider transition for more control instead of bats.
It's not a comfortable position for Lin at all. He wants more Wyvern, he wants more bats, and more levels. Lindo is, I would say, by far the greatest Orc right now. It's playing from behind, running around the map, looking for his openings, and not losing his cool. Other players oftentimes get frustrated, go into an engagement that is not favorable.
Did you not see the game against Labyrinth, brother? Did he lose his cool? But yeah, in general...
That's why today is going to be so different.
True. Obviously, in general, you are correct. I find it fascinating that we were waiting for Lin for like 4 months, right? It's like, how will this matchup develop? What's he thinking about? What's his new approach? We just dial back the time, man. We just go mass air like it's 2024.
Yep, and I was hoping for something more. I was hoping for some Torrents maybe, but apparently not. It is the Mass Wyvern again. But here is the pivot that I was talking about earlier. That's something that Lin also did in the past. Triggering Alchemist, triggering Gargs to go up against Wyvern. Now he's trying to pivot into Headhunters. And Headhunters are really, really, really good if there's no Dark Ranger on the Undead.
Right on. I mean, I do appreciate an Alchemist with Acid Bomb against Headhunters as well, but it's just not the same. 100% agree with that. TC then also very nice for movement speed. Still no second spell right there. Still no ring there. We got Chemical Rage. I love that spell a lot for more damage. And 1-0 feels confident enough to expand upper right.
Yeah, this is a great timing, actually. I would say this pivot into Headhunters can be strong, but it takes a long time to really get going. So if you can expand and get ahead that way, that would be wonderful. But good scout here by Lin. Easy cancel with those mobile Wyvern.
Very cool use case for the Wyvern, I gotta say. Is a little bit of a pickle now against the Gargs again. Maybe he can kite them back into the base. Little
Cool Beast,
Beast.
help me.
Hello,
Help
Cool
me.
Beast. Yeah, can't decide.
A player's
Oh, it's
forces
a
are under
neutral
attack.
Cool Beast. It's a Switzerland Cool Beast.
Must be rich then. God damn, Cool Beast, what are you hiding?
Well, I guess it has no expenses the way it lives there.
Yeah, looked rather modest. One Wyvern goes down, only a single one is left. Has 1-0 fully identified what he's facing. Maybe not, because making more Gargs here is not what you need against Headhunters.
Yeah, some players scout better than others, and 1-0 not scouting too much. Even though we had a shade before this game, it might bite him. This army doesn't give away that he goes Headhunters. Could still be everything, really. And Headhunters are coming, man. Upgrade is through. Attack upgrades are coming in as well. Lin did buy the necessary time for all the tech, but will he buy the necessary time for the army?
Looks like the Kodo probably gonna go down. Wants to trade it at least for the statue. Yeah, this level 4 Death Knight, that's a really good level up to have. I would say, roughly speaking, this is looking better hero level wise right now and hero strength for the Undead, but better army wise for the Orc.
Big question, how the Farseer scales into all of this. I mean, we appreciate Chain Lightning later on, but it's really not a great spell up until level 3. Shadowhunter and TC, how will they carry? Interesting setup for sure. Stomp it is this time. Devotion Aura, really nice. Always is. And we got Cement, so no Destroyer attacks into the base. What's 1-0 stalling for another Expo approach?
Player's forces are under attack.
First Bestiary here gonna go down. I would say losing one Bestiary here actually doesn't matter at all. It's mainly about Berserkers now, I would say, roughly. And Lin isn't coming home to defend. Creeping up still, looking for the level ups, got the TC2, got the Shadow 3, and didn't buy a TP, but rather a heal scroll on the Farseer. Are we base racing here, or what is going on?
With one Raider and one Wyvern, I don't know how successful that is. 1-0 tears the production apart, would love to see a shop snipe as well. Lin knows he needs levels, and with that rat camp, he will be able to afford a town portal to save the majority of the base, but 2 production buildings and shop done and Headhunter done.
Yeah.
This is a lot of losses, plus time for expo, of course.
Yeah, it's a lot. And if you TP home, force the Undead away, and then you can go for a tiny, then okay, I guess no harm, no foul, but can you afford all of that? Not so sure. It certainly isn't a TP. It is the long run back to the main base. But Lin did benefit a lot from these creep camps. His hero is now way stronger with levels and items.
Alrighty. Can he weather the storm here? Ensnare coming in, piercing damage, amazing versus Gargs, amazing versus Destroyers. And overall, great damage output. Little bit of a supply lead. Claws, as you mentioned. We also have a Wand of Mana Stealing, which could come in very handy. Still not over, but Lin needs a big moment to clobber down this expo now.
Forces are under attack.
Does he know about the expansion? Does he have assumption about the expansion? Not exactly sure about that. TC trying to come in with the Stomp. The Alchemist, by the way, also might be vulnerable here. TC getting focused heavily in Vuln on the Alch. TC running away. TC, though, might still be dying. Trying to pass an item. Something. TC! Last hit brings him down. He almost was away, but couldn't make it.
Shadowhunter with the heal wave last second. Still chasing. Lots of damage on the Undead side as well. But the Acid Bomb might tick him down, actually. It will. Chemical Rage. The Alchemist gets the W. Double kill for 1-0 back in the series. But what about this army? Okay, still looking fine. Lin only a hurt Shadowhunter. Some exit kills would be beautiful. He needs some end snares. He needs some big ones. Is there any resource to get the heroes back? I don't think so. Farseer is back. Shadowhunter as well.
TC, though, still benched for a long time. He's still supply blocked. There is so much gold streaming in. Even with the Alchemist not being so amazing anymore in this matchup. At this point, the lead seems to be so big here. Lich and DK both so strong. Items, by the way, crazy. So many amazing items on these Undead heroes. And I think Lin is looking towards the end.
Oh man, only a Farseer. What can this Farseer do all along? A Blade Master, maybe. A Farseer, I don't know. The Wolves are eating Acolytes, kinda nice. Keeps the supply close. Alchemist again, down to 50%. Can't be coiled, has no inventory. Fiend, freed. It's only Farseer Headhunters, man. This feels like DreamHack days.
The mana seems to be running out quickly. Good save there on the Destroyer. That one barely getting away. The army size now significantly dropping, which means the regen on the Blight is insurmountable. And it's GG. And it's 1-1.
Such a classic 1-0 series so far. Getting a bit outplayed in map 1, then turning it up from map 2 onwards. And was it a map issue? Was it a performance issue? Is it a Farseer issue? What was the key to victory here for 1-0?
I feel like Lin was way too aggressive against Labby's Expo plays.
Yeah, this didn't work out. He tried Farseer Firelord on Autumn Leaves, but that was... It was an attempt, let's say, that shouldn't be repeated in the same fashion. And Lin is a smart person, probably learned from that. And it's a very, very different map, of course, with different rush distances and expo timings. And first and foremost, we have to see if 1-0 is expanding, but he got that skull in the pocket. 7 Acolytes as well. Farseer sends the Wolves to do some damage. And now we'll see how much he can delay that Haunted Goldmine.
Shadow Priest pick up early on. The Farseer with the Peon Scout. This is really cool. Double purpose right there. Peon scouts to see what's going on with the Undead, Creeping, and Expo, and also goes for the Shadow Priest. Really neat. Last second coil. Alright, this time it doesn't get punished. Thank you, 1-0. One ghoul saved, but another one might be dying. And this seems to be a really good start so far for Lin.
Cool, yeah. We have 2-base, 2-base. This is not what 1-0 wanted. This is probably what Lin wanted. Now we have a similar game that we had before. 1-base, 1-base, DK Ghouls versus Farseer. The question is, how good is Orc without their best unit, the Wyvern?
Forcing out some coils from the DK. If you can force the Death Knight to stay level 1, this is fantastic as the Orc player. But that's level 2. And now we finally got the Aura, which makes everything easier and better if you're the Orc. Shadow Priest so far didn't get to dispel too much. Can be quite nice against some Skellies in the right moment, but also want to make sure not to lose it too easy to the coil.
Lots of mind games, of course, rattling through their heads. How do you follow this up? 1-0 sold the altar, has to rebuild it. That is some unnecessary expenses. Trying to get some expenses off of Lin now as well. But yeah, I like that Shadow Priest, just as you say. A little bit of healing reduces the need for a shop. 2 forward burrows here. Might be a point to attack later. If this is a regular Farseer Headhunter build, I'm really curious how Lin responds to Dark Ranger Ghouls. Because I can't envision a counter to that.
If he plays it really well and out micros 1-0, I think he can still win this, although it's not that easy. In my opinion, the key unit to out micro standard Undead with Farseer Headhunters is normally Zeppelin. To load up, you know, and stop the Skelly Snowball. But this map, we got no Zeppelin, so it's gonna be a difficult matchup on even more difficult settings, where a player like Lin can shine, though.
It's kind of funny, though, right? Like, Lin pretty much destroyed the biggest threat that there is. That's an Undead expansion. And they're like, well, what's the longevity of the strat now? Like, what can he do to not get completely trashed in the late game? Yeah, the lack of Zeppelin definitely hurts.
Yeah, strong hero levels. The hero advantage can still go a long way if you get a strong Farseer and a TC second. Oh! This was the way the Farseer Hunter, when it first burst onto the scene and looked so overwhelming, was played all the time. Then countermeasures were being found and danger was being presented. Then the TC made way for the Shadow Hunter, which was the safer pair of hands on tier 2. But now back to the TC we go, and back into double bestiary we go.
Ooh, okay.
It might be a reverse pivot.
Into Wyvern now, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Echo's probably not the greatest map for Raider lane, as there's only 1.5 lanes, basically, to maneuver across.
A player's forces are under attack.
All the Magi taking the scenic route.
This is very confusing with full vision observer mode.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the shoes of the players who have half the vision we have.
Okay, the Acolyte sees the TC, and that is very suspicious. Because if you're facing Wyvern, normally it's always Shadowhunter.
It's Raiders, bro.
Raiders. I mean, a couple of Raiders are always nice for Ensnare. Normally going too heavy on Raiders is the problem. Is it mass tier 2 Expo?
I guess. Does he have... Yeah, he has resource. He needs a bit of lumber. But Peon is coming. It's the...
There's the Peon.
Lin tries to make the strat work. I swear to you, for like 6 years, I don't think it ever worked. I'm a doubter. I'm a hater. But prove me
Like
wrong.
little hate watcher, Neo.
I am.
It's not a bad position for it, though. The DK is really underleveled. Then has great map vision. TC leveling is looking decent. He's getting shop control right now. Fashi is keeping tabs on the opponent. But yeah, you need to have way superior resources if you want to hang with tier 1 versus tier 2.
Yeah.
Tier 2 versus tier 3, I mean.
Thing is, I really don't like this strategy, but I also can't think of a better one. And I was an advocate of orcs laming, so let them lame. I'm just very curious of the execution here.
Looks like Lynn is trying to find the timing right before tier 3, right before Frenzy and Orb. Orb is there. Frenzy not yet. Oh, catching a statue is big already.
Ghouls as well. TC in position for the stomp. More damage. Level 3 thanks to the creep last hit as well. Huge moment for Lin. Oh my god.
And also, in this aggressive position here, can threaten a continued counterattack into the main. Getting the item would be huge. Nova being lined up, though. Ring +5. Oh, that's so good for the TC.
Oh yeah.
Don't you dare sell that item, bro.
Expo 70%. 40 seconds to go. We still need levels on 1-0 desperately. And the first Wyvern is coming in, so it's like a reverse pivot of what you usually do when it's mass Wyvern into Raider. Now it's 2 Raiders for control into Wyvern alongside the Kodo, and this might be a little bit of a surprise for 1-0, who doesn't have a single Fiend yet.
Yeah, Lin doing a great job here, finding pickoffs, not overextending against the big Undead Frenzy army. And I say big in air quotes, it's not really. The big problem, the big drawback here is the Death Knight. He is way too underleveled. Not being level 3 at this point in the game is kind of unforgivable. And I think Lin identified this in the early game. He saw how slow the DK progress was.
Oh.
He knew this tier 2 expansion could work so well.
Damn, that lasted with the storm. Beautifully done. Lin, you know what it is? I think the secret is he's using a randomizer for his army now and his strategies. This is so confusing from 1-0's perspective. There are a lot of counters out there at the right timing for the Undead, but you need to figure this out. You need to identify this. And Lin, he's playing like a mass confusion strategy, and 1-0 doesn't have the counters up. A counter to anything, always Coil Nova, but we might turn up the heat here, hero focus wise as well. Wyvern move to the side, more ghouls are streaming in. Can they carry this fight?
The Black Arrow always has the potential, of course, to snowball and win the game for you in the end. The Destroyer has to fall in, messing up with the right click. He didn't properly target right there. It took him way too long, and he doesn't kill the Destroyer. That was a big micro mistake. That should have been an easy Destroyer kill that he misses. It's a lot of losses for Lin right here.
More Wyvern streaming in. Raider, more control, going for the statues now. Dispels it for more mana. Now the Wyvern are able to get some kills. Boom, 8 supply gone from 1-0's account. Huge supply lead alongside this expansion, which is now paying off. Raiders fallen. Can we get a speed scroll? We don't have a speed scroll. Heal scroll maybe even to stay in that fight. Kodo a bit exposed here. Heal scroll necessary. Got it. Scroll of the beast also. We go for the heroes. There's no TP. Lin. There was a lot of doubters for this strategy.
Oh.
No way.
Oh my god.
Oh Oh god, the escape by 1-0. Holy!
Trying to get the destroyer. Oh my god, look how hurt everything is. What do you do for a raider right now with Ensnare? Doesn't have one though.
120, the Chinese phone number for an ambulance. He needs one right now. And Lin, let's go. Oh, see, this is why I love the 1-0 versus Lin games, man. Every single time they face each other, it's just cinema.
Yeah, super sick. Expo keeps mining this whole time. It seems like clearly the right unit to go for is the Wyvern here. Takes the biggest strength away from the Dark Ranger, the Skelly, Snowball. Some of that we are now seeing against the creeps. Where 1-0 is trying to get a little bit stronger.
How do you break this, Expo, man? You raised that question very well. Trying Gargs now. As there is a TC, understandable. There's no Shadow Hunter for the Hex focus. Lin going for more units. Defend upgrades. Love to see it. If you have the resources for it, of course. And now the Wyvern lane in the base begins.
1-0 is not too far away though. He can get back here to save the economy in just a moment. Acolyte's a little bit late to move maybe. TC level 4 is actually really nice as well, by the way. That's a great aura to buff up everything. Trying to go for the Haunted. If he miscalculates this would be very bad. But no, doesn't go through with it. It is still Wyvern going down. The Undead army, we can feel it powering up.
Holy moly, there was a lot of losses with TP, with Wyvern. There's ghouls and the skeleton at the right-hand side. 1-0 knows now. There is one burrow. Would love to see reinforced defenses, but lumber is still an issue, as it always is for orcs. No shredder, of course. Pillage is coming. So we pivot from Grunt into Headhunters, from Headhunters into Raiders, from Raiders into Wyvern, and from Wyvern into Raiders.
Yeah, sick game by Lin. He's very speedy now with that TC aura.
Ooh, interception.
Intercepted though. Lich trying to get in range for the Nova. He's got a lot of damage as well in his inventory. Ooh, Lin with the escape. A clean one this time. He needs more supply if he really wants to face this army.
Yep, 57 is not enough. It's tier 2 versus tier 3. Obviously, higher tech comes with an advantage. Going for the DK. Exposed, but once again, we raise the question without Hex. Is that good enough? Big losses here, but the DK is still ensnared. Ensnare Lord stops him 6 feet under.
And maybe that is enough. He's got more ensnare still. The Raiders still all here, but the Wyvern are forced away. The TC Stomp is being the X factor here. The Lich is surrounded, and the game is over. GG, and Lin does it again. With a mass tier 2 Expo that is so hard to pull off against a dangerous, strong, under tier 3 army. So sick. So sick. This is the War Chief. Yeah, I agree. I also think 1-0 is really strong with the strategy, especially around that first initial 50 supply timing. With Lich level 2, DK level 3, Dark Ranger level 1, or maybe 2 if you're lucky. And then trying to go for that very powerful timing attack. I think the strategy does fall off later on. The longer it goes, the better it is for the Orc, especially if the TC third gets to level. In my opinion, level 3 TC completely destroys the Tet Fiend build in a Fiend army. But getting to that is pretty hard, man. Level 3 on a third hero, not so easy to get to.
Mr. Remodimo, I said the very same thing in the matchup of 1-0 versus Soin. Turns out, not every orc knows you need an Invo Potion against the Dark Ranger Silence. And if there's no Invo Potion, you're gonna have a tough time. Like this Blade Master so far, because we had a nice coil snipe on the DK, close to level 2.
Yeah, that is actually amazing for 1-0 and terrible for Lin. He spent his entire first minute in the middle doing nothing. He didn't get the item, didn't get the experience. The DK now is basically one full level ahead. So Blade Master has to get stronger by paying money for it. That's right, guys. Money solves all your problems. He went for double circlet. Very expensive. It is very good, but that's 400 gold.
Right on. Yeah, especially like, since this is a claw, it's even better. Blade Master, of course, relying a lot on heroes. Very nice snipe by 1-0. Very nice contest. Orcs have spent quite some time at the middle, whether that's in this matchup or against Pally Rifle. And I've never really seen it be worth it. This camp is just a little green camp, but it's easy to underestimate how long it takes to kill, I think.
Yeah, the creep out here by 1-0 was really sick because he went for the small green camp, knowing that if there's a scout or if there's a creep happening in the middle, he can intersect. And that was really well done. Securing another last hit here. Almost now level 2. Blade Master has very, very little experience.
Fiends coming. Blade under-leveled. Blade under-equipped. Lin faster with the tech. But not by that much. Just roughly 20 seconds instead of like 45, which it oftentimes is. Mr. Vez, thank you for your prime. 30 month. Can't be a better day than 300 games in the Super League. Go, go. 1-2-0.
Yeah, that's right. All 3 Undeads in our group stage playing today. Happy, of course, with the win. Earlier on, 1-0 against match point right now. But I would say this early game is looking very, very good for him.
Agreed, agreed. Inventory for the DK also looks good. Fiends in the hands of 1-2-0 is always an art, a piece of art. And another creep jack. Does not prevent level 2, so critical strike unlocked. And yeah, this Blade Master, if you go mirror image, you can creep like crazy. If you go Windwalk, you want to harass, you want to slow down the DK, you want to inflict damage to the units. We've seen none of that.
Acolyte Scout taken out. That might be more important than one might think at the first glance, because Lin is not playing tier 3 standard. He is going double Bestiary into a Fiend build.
Mm-hmm.
And that's very weird, because lots of Fiend means lots of web, means lots of danger for the Wyvern.
Well, Wyvern have this magic move of making Fiends disappear quickly if you get the numbers up. Could also be a Raider pillage move, but then the tier 3 is a bit odd. Shattered Exile, very big, lots of room to maneuver, lots of ways to dodge your opponent. So that might be a play.
Very interesting. And maybe then is again going for the Wyvern first, and we might be looking towards a very late game Berserker transition. It's only if there's Alchemist, I guess, because you could just go Dark Ranger as well. Although she's not the greatest against Wyvern, she's still decent. What's the item here, by the way? Roll with the Magi, that's pretty good. Lich getting hexed. Death Knight showing up, though. Death Knight looking pretty strong right now with that level 3.
Thank you, Schnock, for the 45-month resub. Loves to see that. Both Undead heroes quite hurt. Blade Master crit for the first time. We want to see the big red numbers, as we've seen so often on Shattered Exile. I think we had a 400 crit before. Oh no, we had 3 crits in a row. Ha! No, 4 crits in a row. That was crazy. It was 800 damage in 3 hits or something. Still not enough. But yeah, the Saint Sword has to be with them today again. Pressure rises. Hex focus. Oh, 1-0. Are you once again not respecting the Hex timing? Now he does.
PP out. He got the item. Pendant of Energy is pretty decent. Not the greatest, I guess, but it's also some space finally for Lin to freely creep up. There's a lot of room to grow for him on his heroes. Getting a Ring of Protection here is decent and especially great for a TC 3rd if we should see him later with tier 3 soon finishing.
No Expo this time. Potential for a tiny at some point after a 1 fight. We might get the Wyvern upgrades very soon. Chain Lightning in the middle doing quite some damage. We got an Orc and Undead creep here. Chain Lightning in the middle, Nova on the outskirts. Just inspired by the best races there are.
Once they're getting a big item, but that's not the best item there is for him. The Scourge Bone Chime's Aura, not going to do much for him. This camp gives lots of experience, big item, and also double tones. So always a nice little boost for whoever gets it. Lin looking once again towards economy harass. There's a tower coming up, but there's going to be, again, an opening to attack 1 or 2 acolytes. Probably just 1 for free.
We got 5 seconds till Envenomed Spears. Nice timing. Well crafted. Thank you for the support. Wakaka! Spirit Tower. 10 seconds. Gotta weather that Wyvern Storm while still creeping. No response by 120 just yet. Relies on the towers. And I think that's alright. Should be minimal damage if he's not finding an opening for the left-hand side one.
Late.
Yeah.
Got a kill as well.
Got a
Alright,
kill
that's
as
an
well.
Acolyte taken out, and a Fiend. That's 300 damage in gold already. Lin looking not bad here, not bad at all.
And that Blade Master has lots of room for improvement. Just like our sub count. Der liebe Jochen, thank you for 30 months. 120 gets a big mana potion as well. Ooh, it's gonna be a lot of spells. Dark Ranger is out. Shadow Hunter not level 3. No sign of a TC just yet. And it looks like Lin is committing to this economy harass. Ghouls all wiped.
Wyvern plus the Blade, fighting on together. Going to the lab. Oh, do we have some plans here, maybe?
Zeppelin could help the heroes, but there's Web as well. A second Fiend saved by the coil. Beautiful arrival. The Doctor saves the Fiend. So Lin at 500 gold. That is a little bit suspicious when an Orc is on tier 3.
Tiny Great Hall, though, is certainly going to be scouted for.
A player's forces
The
are
army quality, the unit quality is probably still better on the Undead right here. And the items, by the way, are nice.
You know what's not nice?
Ice Spice.
Having 4 acolytes in the gold mine.
Oh. Can slip your mind sometimes.
Does it though? Should it though? We've seen this before. A little bit of a gift to Lin. I think it's just strategic masterclass by 120 to save resources for the late game.
Sure. Let's go with that. So far, the main base for the Undead now. Not in trouble anymore, but that's the next big creep for 120. Then would love to try to punish this, but he's got only dual hero, and he doesn't have that much mana. If he wants to go for a creep jack here, not much time.
Bro, I gotta say, 120 is falling apart quite a bit. How many Fiends fell to the Blade Master roaming? Lin is playing a little bit like Moon plays against Human with roaming Dryads to intercept reinforcements and kill them off. This Blade Master also has crowd control, not with like Dryad poison, but with Blade. And we know against Destroyers and statues it triggers 120% of the time, but apparently also versus Fiends, and this is worth so much. Plus the 2 town portals that he forced, that's also 650 gold. It's way too many expenses to create an army now, especially on 4 acolytes.
And Lin trying to slowly set up an expansion over here with Peon. It's going to be towers to start things off. 1-0 though, in an attacking position now towards the Orc main base, where we do not have reinforced defenses. Oh, actually, it's finishing in just a few seconds. That would have been a sick timing if 1-0 committed, but he's taken another step in a different direction.
Oh man. 120 was in the base. He's building a temple. He still didn't notice the missing acolyte. That's nuts. We got reveal. We got Coil Nova possibly, but also an Invo Potion. Wyvern, Wept Fiend, not pulling back. Oh, now they are. Purge on the Destro. QED. Oh, here we get the kill. Wyvern falling apart quickly. They are fragile glass cannons. If not healed up, we get lots of heal waves ready. And that Blade Master, quite a weapon.
There's so much mana here on 1-0. He's just gonna outlast it. He's gonna out-sustain this, isn't he? We have an Ensnare, but no, Devour needs to get that in quickly. The hero's now in trouble as well. Heal Wave comes through. The big mana potion here, absolutely crucial. Stomp is in, but no opportunity really for a kill. Blade has to take out these statues.
Uh-oh, TC fell to the coil. Statue gone, but the Kodo might just follow. He has the Katga's pipe, as you said, so much regen. The Fiend is free. Only 1 Raider. It's dual hero and 2 Raiders against the tri-hero of the Undead. Fiends are streaming in, now not intercepted. He's still on 4 acolytes, by the way. How ridiculous. Lin doesn't have a second base. Blade Master might get surrounded here, but with Fiends, it's tricky. Statues, though? Nice point of attack.
That's level 4. Important level up here for the Blade Master. He's still not too well equipped. A little bit unlucky, I guess, with the items in this game. No claws of attack or slippers or anything like that. And 1-0 got a lot of kills here.
And another grunt falling thanks to a sweet, sweet body block. Shout out to Invincible for getting that kill. Blade Master level 4. How high are the crits? Minimal, as you said. Dark Ranger level 3. So strong. What's the potential Hail Mary by Lin? No pillage. No raider. His army is 2 wyvern.
A player's forces are under attack.
While Acolyte's still only in the gold mine, it is almost an 800 gold lead from that alone. But in the fights, 1-0 just trades so much better. The Fiend army, man, it's pretty good. Especially when facing low-level orc heroes, and Lin just calls it GG.
Can you imagine the feelings when Lin watches this replay and he looks into 120's base and he sees that he lost this game against 4 acolytes? Emotional damage, man.
Emotional damage.
Not hating on that Farseer, it worked well so far. It is a map where you can pimp the Blade Master, but Lin sometimes complains about the items and then moves away from it. We've seen Farseer succeed, so hey, no criticism in that regard. Also, short rush distance, which always amplifies a Farseer harass, comes down. 2 last hits, of course. It is a difficult early game for the Farseer player, because the Undead got so good against it. We'll see. There's a lot of strategies to play for 120. It is a return to a simple ghoul opener.
Oh, last hit. Stolen. Oh, that's big, actually. That's a big swing for the early game. And that's a pretty big mistake by 120. A very unforced error.
Got that one, though. Okay, then the techs progress with headhunters. Ready to take out the ghouls. It is an invite to a Dark Ranger, of course. Shouldn't fall into a trap of going Dark Ranger second, I feel.
Yeah, that's where orcs love to go wyvern then. Rest of the last hits go to the DK pretty easily, so disaster averted. Not getting level 2 after these first 2 camps would be really, really bad. That one certainly was locked in.
Feels like the calm before the storm. Just a little tug of war, a little bit of poking. It is solid damage done. Takes the ghouls off the map in a bit for free healing at the base.
Feels like a very calm phase in the game still, but as Lin here, you gotta be vigilant. You gotta make sure your positioning is on point. It's very easy here to be a little bit too slow on the headhunter movement, and all of a sudden you get surrounded once and maybe twice, and that would be really bad. You want to keep that headhunter count high as long as you can.
Gaudi coming in with the 913 sub. Good games. Hello from Mexico. Nice. Didn't know we have 2 Warcraft fans in Mexico alongside Lucker. Shout out.
Mexico. Greetings. Dude, tacos would be amazing right now.
I was wondering when is the moment Remo gets hungry. Either that or the Lord of the Ring reference was missing. Finally, we got 50% out of the way.
Dude, imagine if Twitch in like 50 years with like beaming Star Trek technology, instead of gifting subs, viewers can like gift a taco. Bro. That would be so good.
I wouldn't trust anything a viewer sends me.
Nah, you gotta be positive in this world, Neo. It's such a friendly place.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Good. You can eat all of that. Then. Enjoy.
Okay. Well, good. Shadowhunter is our second hero this time. DK is getting out of this early game with an experience lead. Not quite level 3 yet, which would be perfect, but he's not far from it. Eyeing up the middle here, trying to see if maybe Lin is creeping up something. That's not quite the case. The big middle camp's still up for grabs. And the DK about to lock in at level 3. with Lich on the way.
A player's forces are
In previous games, we've seen brutal encounters at the beginning of Tier 2. I think 1-0 learned the lesson to not contest the middle against Farseer, Blade Master, and especially Shadowhunter. That gives the big camp to Lin. Of course, he has to go to the outskirts, but lower XP gain and a healthy hero is better than no XP gain and a dead hero.
Sobi Mask, also amazing item. The DK there, by the way, almost in time for the steal, or maybe even a kill. Lots of Hex has to be used here. Not everything gets away in the end. It's a single Headhunter dying, but a big camp. And that Sobi Mask is going to have a lot of value this game.
Indeed, the orcs are always complaining. We don't have sustain, we don't have sustain. Now Lin gets it for free. Just like we get Cleanser's Prime Sub, 26 months. Thank you. So, Tier 3 on the horizon for both. We go Kodo. We stick with Headhunters for now. Isn't this just a layup for a beautiful, beautiful Dark Ranger?
It sure is. Pretty certain we're going to see her unless there's going to be some Wyvern. So far, no sign of that. We're seeing a TC third. What are the items looking like? These will have certainly impact. DK is very tanky on his items. That's neat to have, but not really the priority. It's more about Lich damage. That so far is pretty low. While the Farseer has Ring and Gauntlets and Claws. Like to see that. And a Sobi. I would say so far Lin's items are way better here.
Will they determine the outcome? Not too sure. Consumable on the right-hand side. Lin might have his eye on the price on the red spot, but that would be very, very risky. Maybe pull back to the expo and go from there. Frenzy timing around the corner. Destroyer timing will still take 70 seconds. TC out. Attack upgrades out. Next on the list, Invul Potion for that TC. You got the ring already. And then Lin is almost ready to fight if the burrow finishes, and that's finished as well.
Giving the armor and strength items to the TC. Love to see that. This so significantly improves his survivability. Just these two small items. And 2 claws on the Farseer and mana on the Shadow. I feel like all these heroes are quite well equipped over on Lin's side. Army size, so far not that amazing. But he's starting to work on that as well. And if we get to a big Berserker army with strong upgrades, the damage output can get crazy late game.
I still have zero faith in a Headhunter build against Dark Ranger Frenzy Ghouls. But hey, maybe the Granite Golem does Lin a favor and takes out 1 or 2 of them. Chain Lightning level 2 is an excellent choice, as you mentioned, alongside the right clicks. Totally with you there. Item, Claws plus 12, will help the Dark Ranger, will help the Lich, getting rid of all these Headhunters. Reinforced defenses coming in as well, so 1-0 can't overwhelm Lin with a Destroyer push right away. And overwhelming it will be as 60 food is prepared.
Farseer has plus 24 damage with Orb and Kodo. That's pretty sick. Solo experience here for the TC. Unlucky with that item. Scroll the Beast is definitely the worst. But he's got good items outside of that and good levels. And almost now at 50.
Did you see the game where we had a plus 40 damage Naga level 6? That was insane, dude. That was a coil with every right click.
I don't think I did. Sounds...
Oh, it was a Knight of
though.
Mirror. Of course you didn't. Of course you didn't.
Nah, those were really high on my VOD ones. You know? Okay, Wonders items now also looking a lot better there, though. Lich got the Claws plus 12, got a lot of good items. We'll love to see those slippers over on the Dark Ranger. Oh, and now, very, very important fight for this series.
Ooh, not much damage. Uptime for 1-2-0. Tricky situation. Nova hitting so hard. Headhunt is getting torn apart here. Lin doesn't have a heal scroll, doesn't have an invul. The Golem is still strong. Oh my god, what an ambush this is. Trying to stem against this Destroyer. Still healthy. Can't say the same about the Headhunters. Super close calls with the Destros. Needs a coil. Keeps it up. Ghoul Skelly's on the ground. How can Lin recover from this?
Where are the Storms, dude? They only came in now towards the very end of the fight. We only then saw the first Storm. The TC not having the Invul Potion here was so painful. He's looking for more kills still. Shadowhunter almost dead. Passing the item. TP on him. Trying to get more kills though. Another stomp. Looking for yet more pickoffs. Chain Lightning doesn't get that one. Heatwave is in. Mana now very low on Lin.
Oh, can Lin beat the Undeads? Or will the Undeads beat Lin again? Just fleeing. Supply numbers are quite even, but skeletons, of course, don't cost supply. It's a bit misleading. Question now is 1-0 continuing to fight. We got a coil ready, locked and loaded. Any targets Coil Nova actually line up, but the Lich is traveling too far behind. Stealing an Invo Potion here is nice use of the resources as more ghouls and more statues are coming in. Dark Ranger creating some distance. Nobody gets the red spot, but Lin needs a bit of recovery right now, and my doubts are rising.
Another decent item here. Circuit of Nobility picked up by the Undead. Red Camp item is going to be really, really important. Lin returning to the Red Camp with low mana and kind of low hit points. This is looking a bit risque.
Agree with that. We got Coil Nova lined up again. Lich, can he get in range? Focusing on the creep so far. Only a town portal, no other consumable, no Invo Potion, can't stay in that fight. Headhunter numbers rising again with the second barracks. But now Dark Ranger's level 3. Good night.
And that can be the knockout blow at times. The Black Arrow now so strong against these Berserkers. Lin with the low mana. This is looking like a very, very hard fight. Great ensnare though. Yoinks in the Destroyer. Looking for that big target. Silence on the TC. Again, he can't stop.
Destroyer almost falling. DK is diving deep. Might be a trap. Destroyer safe to the side. Another Purge catches him there. Big time Nova. Chain Lightning on ghouls, but it only reduces the number. Doesn't get rid of them. Lin, you need a miracle here. Everybody says this is unfightable, but with Lin's sanity, you might be able to create that sad miracle here. The sustain of 1-0, of course, a million times better thanks to statues.
Stomp going for the Death Knight. He does not have a Hex, though. Man, now basically all gone. The TC is in trouble. So are the Berserkers. More and more kills. Lin is falling quite a bit behind here.
TC with the TP. Gets another Purge out, but it's time to leave. 5 food difference, but that is finally, after 2 fights, the red spot claim for 1-0.
And that is the big lead for him for this map, for sure. Chances of him winning this series here on map 5 looking really, really good after Lin came out strong in the gate with a 2-1. Been really hoping it's not a sick item. Let's take a look. Ancient Jaguar pretty good though.
Pretty good. More movement speed, more attack speed. That's fantastic. Movement speed advantage, always great. We don't have any upgrades on the ghouls just yet. That would be maybe the nail in the coffin. We stay at 50, so does Lin. With double barracks, recovery was fast. But what about the longevity?
Almost no creeps left on the map. A little bit more experience. Oh, that's Lich level 4 actually. God damn, this guy is looking so strong. Fully slotted on the Lich. DK also with strong items. And Destroyer morph into the main base. There is reinforced defenses, thankfully for Lin, but that's a terrifying undead army.
No spikes, unfortunately. Ghouls stay healthy. How do you engage into this? Lin diving deep in his own base, trying to use the burrows as towers.
Destroyer mana slowly fading. The Coda Beast a little bit in the wrong position. That's the perfect target, of course, always. Nice stomp, though. Destroyer goes down. 1 ghoul at least. Hoping for more, but a long-range coil. 1-0 right now is the eye of a sniper. Always finding those kills perfectly with his spells.
Right on. He's not overcommitting. We've seen Elegant yesterday on this on Twisted, diving way too deep against Sok, gave a huge lead away. This shall not happen to an expert like 1-2-0. Lucky that the statue Miss Rally wasn't punished immediately. There's an atypical lack of control in this Orc army.
1-0 seems to have everything that he needs to win this series right here, right now. The Nova is again beautiful. The TC Silence couldn't even stomp because he was out of mana. And now the Skelly Snowball is just ruthless. Taking out one by one, diminishing the orc numbers and raising the undead numbers. Backed off by very strong heroes. Lin about to lose his first hero. Not quite yet. Heal Wave saving him at the last moment. But this is just a losing battle.
So many ghouls so hurt, but he can't put the nail in the coffin on them. They dance around the statues getting healed up. Another destroyer falling, but here's the next nuke. Saves the life with a stomp for now. Destroyer's diving deep, but you called him sniper. That was another good eye. Executes him. Coil Nova, game over. 33 supply, 1-0. Weathers the storm, getting 2 wins in a row at the end of this series where he always shines. And takes another victory, takes another victim at Super League. Expands his win streak to 6 wins in a row. Beautiful comeback with tech switches. Lin, a good performance, but not good enough to beat 1-0.
Some brilliant moves in there, but some of it also seemed to rely on spur of the moment, improvisation, and just his sheer level of strategic brilliance and skill. Is that always replicable? Is that always something that works? Is that always something that you can fall back on as a reliable strategy? What is the reliable strategy right now? In this matchup against Undead, it seems like Lin currently does not have the answer.
Compared to the Labby series, this was a huge improvement though. So he played bad versus Labby, good but not good enough versus the 1-0. And the only Undead that's left is Happy. So what does it tell us?
Honestly, I think he has a pretty good chance there. Historically speaking, he sometimes almost has the better stats against Happy compared to 1-0. These two very often seem to bring out the best in each other. That's going to be a series I'll be very, very excited for. And if Lin is in top form, he absolutely can blast through Happy. In fact, that is what happened end of Season 1. If we may remember, where Lin defeated absolutely everyone on the way out of the group stage.